Good morning, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity. I want to share that we really enjoyed being part of this project. This is the Proud of MID DI project.
I wanted to tell you the story of Youssef. Youssef is a gender-free person and he has been suffering from discrimination all his life. Now Youssef is an intern in my team and he told me his story. I can't let it go.
So, and remember that Youssef is not alone. 1.3 million US are transgender. Exactly. We started from real stories. We wanted to start from people, and you listen to the real voice of the DNI. We wanted to develop the DNI ID concept capsule, so a collection to serve a cause, cross-brand driven, cause-driven, product-driven, and community-driven. So let's see the DNI ID roots. We leveraged on Kalpana's talk, very insightful, and we learned that diversity and inclusion must be hand by hand. One without the other is not enough. So leveraging on the many topics related to diversity and inclusion, we wanted to play with the concept of ID, and we developed a smart collection that is a capsule that will be explained shortly. And we wanted this experience to let it go, match the creative vision with the outside world of the DNI.
So the idea is to have one capsule for each collection, for each season common to all the brands, and to have a capsule for each fight. Based on a collaboration between our artistic directors of the brands and also an independent designer that will be directly involved into the fight because truly anchored to reality. We will also play on the color linked to each theme. For example, the orange corresponds to domestic violence. And for example, also the pink and the blue is linked to the transgender story. Thanks to this, so we would like to have this logo and the DID story on the products with a label, also on the packaging. So for example, the shopping bags, and also a label that would be linked to the products, showing the story of the independent designer, for example, Marley Washington for the transgender story, or Salma for the violence against women. On the tags, we will have a QR code that will link to the community.
We'd like to create this DIID community where all the different voices are welcomed. It can be accessed by the QR code, and there will be a dedicated website and app, and also available on the social media platform. Various of information will be shared in this community, such as Kering visions, events, activities that Kering did for DNI, and also the capsule collection with e-shopping platform. Then KPIs will also be shared on this within this community for each seasonal fight. Then for our audience, we engage with them by listening to their own stories and values. We can also follow the hotspot of the society and initiate the hashtag challenge to encourage more people to take actions. Then probably you'll ask, who is our audience?
Our audience will be composed by, of course, Gen Z and millennials, which today represent 56% of active clients of the brands of the group. Their purchasing power is huge, estimated to $3,000 billion. They are influenced by the peers, by social networks and social media trends. They trust people and not organization, nor politics or governments. They are impulsive buyers and really a very diverse population, made of a lot of micro communities, but also globally connected, borderless people, and passionate and influenced by very different topics. And more than everything, 81% of them will be purchasing some brands and products that are really standing for causes that represent something to them. That's how we can measure the results of our actions.
Yes.
20 seconds left, Jason.
Yeah. Here are the basics of our business model. So in terms of distribution, we would like to use our flagship stores and e-commerce. And in terms of average price, we thought of setting it at the entry price range of each brand. Of course, KPIs are key, and we are going to monitor the number of new customers acquired to the project and those who are switching from one brand to another, passing from a one brand customer to a multi-brand customers. But what is really key is transparency. So we will fully disclose data about the community in terms of growth rates and engagement rates. The final proposal we are making is to switch at the end from a pure push communication to a pull communication, in which the community is being part of the project as well.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you very much. That's an amazing presentation.
Thanks to you all.
Have you got any questions?
Thanks. I just have a clarifying question. So is the idea for each house will have an individual product for the fight, or you're thinking that all the houses will, all the creators will come together and do one product which they each sell?
No, each brand will develop its own product, but along with the same fight at the same moment for the same season.
Got it.
We believe that we need to have a massive communication from the community, and everyone should stand for one fight at the same time, so that we can leverage on this ability of the group to communicate to the world, basically.
Yeah.
Exactly. So in one season, sorry to add, we will have, for instance, like domestic violence, the orange wave that will cover cross-brand this project.
Clear.
And in terms of the profit of the product sales, where is that going towards those charities, or how do you see that?
Absolutely. We want to invest a part of the benefits coming from the capsule directly into the fight we are communicating on.
And basically, the fight will be coming from the community. For example, if we are talking about Marley Washington, with a transgender designer who is involved in a lot of actions in the US and in Maryland specifically. Actually, the profits of capsule collection between Marley Washington and Saint Laurent, for example, or Bottega Veneta, will be invested specifically in actions selected and driven by Marley Washington himself.